You didn't lose your mind slowly. Someone took it, piece by piece, in small, calculated doses you never saw coming. Right now, there are people walking around who no longer trust their own memories. They second-guess every feeling they have. They apologize for things that never happened. And the terrifying part? Most of them still don't know it was done to them deliberately. This isn't a rare thing that happens to weak people. It happens to doctors, to lawyers, to people with PhDs. Intelligence doesn't protect you from this. Emotional investment does the damage. The moment you love someone, trust someone, or depend on someone, you hand them a key. Most people use that key responsibly. Narcissists use it to walk through every door in your mind. They rearrange the furniture. They move the walls. And when you wake up confused about who you are, they stand there and tell you this is just how you've always been. That's where the real danger lives. In 2009, a woman named Robin filed for divorce after 14 years of marriage. Her attorneys noted something unusual immediately. Robin could barely finish a sentence without stopping to ask if she was remembering correctly. She apologized constantly during depositions. She referred to her own childhood memories as probably wrong. Her therapist later identified what had happened. Her husband had spent over a decade systematically dismantling her confidence in her own memory. It started with small corrections. He told her she burned dinner last Tuesday when she hadn't cooked at all. He insisted she had agreed to something she had no memory of agreeing to. When she pushed back, he would sigh heavily. He would look at her with what she described as patient disappointment. He told her this was her anxiety talking. He told her she had always done this. He brought in her own family members, repeating his version of events until they believed it too. Psychologists call this a coordinated reality replacement. It doesn't happen in one dramatic moment. It happens in 100 tiny moments over months and years. The narcissist identifies your core memories, the ones that define your identity. Then they begin quietly contradicting them. Not aggressively, softly, with a tone of concern. They frame every correction as them helping you. They position themselves as the only reliable narrator of your life. Robin's therapist described it this way: by year 4 of the marriage, Robin had stopped fact-checking reality against her own experience. She was fact-checking it against her husband. Here's what nobody tells you. The most dangerous gaslighting never feels like an attack. It feels like someone who loves you more than you love yourself. That's by design. In 1973, researchers at Stanford conducted a landmark study on social reality. The experiment found that people will override their own direct sensory experience when an authority figure contradicts it repeatedly. The participants weren't weak. They weren't unintelligent. They simply trusted the external source more than their internal one after sustained pressure. Narcissists have been running this experiment on their partners for centuries without ever reading the research. Here's the psychological mechanism. The human brain is wired to resolve contradiction fast. When your memory says one thing and someone you trust says another, your brain experiences real cognitive dissonance. That discomfort is painful. The easiest way to end the pain is to accept the version offered by the person you trust. Narcissists exploit this biological shortcut with surgical precision. They create contradiction on purpose. Then they offer resolution, their version of reality, as the relief. Over time, something permanent begins to shift. You stop forming memories with full confidence. You start tagging your own experiences with question marks. You remember something happening but immediately wonder if you're wrong. Neuroscientist Dr. Jennifer Freyd's research on betrayal trauma shows this clearly. When the person causing harm is also the person you depend on for safety, the brain suppresses awareness as a survival tool. You don't recognize the manipulation because your brain is actively protecting you from seeing it. This is why victims of narcissistic abuse often feel deep confusion rather than anger. The programming happens beneath the level of conscious awareness. By the time you notice something is wrong, years may have already passed. The version of yourself you have right now, your preferences, your fears, your self-image, ask yourself this: how much of that was built by someone else's repeated corrections? Recognizing this pattern is what breaks it. There are specific warning signs that appear before the damage goes deep. The first is chronic apology. If you apologize before you even finish a sentence, pay attention. That reflex was installed by someone. The second is memory shame. Healthy people disagree about memories without shame. If recalling an event makes you feel stupid or unreliable, ask yourself who made you feel that way first. The third is reality checking through the other person. If you cannot confirm an experience without checking it against someone else first, that dependency was created deliberately. Start writing things down. Not for court. Not for confrontation. For yourself. A private record of your experiences, your thoughts, your reactions, written in the moment, creates an anchor. Narcissists cannot rewrite a dated journal entry. They can only rewrite your memory of events. Documentation is your strongest defense against reality replacement. Your truth deserves a witness, even if that witness is only you. Here is the final truth about narcissistic reality reprogramming. It doesn't end when the relationship ends. The rewired thought patterns stay. The automatic self-doubt stays. The flinch when you assert a memory stays. Many survivors spend years in therapy simply learning to trust their own minds again. Not because they are broken. Because someone spent enormous energy breaking something that was never theirs to touch. The most radical thing a survivor can do is believe themselves, fully, without waiting for permission or confirmation from anyone. So ask yourself this tonight. When was the last time you trusted a memory, a feeling, or a judgment, completely, without immediately wondering if you were wrong?